one of the things that I think makes us a little bit different is when you work with our team, you're not just working with an advisor. You're working with a CPA and a tax advisor. And I don't want to date Randy, but I think he's been doing this for about 30 some odd years.
No,
And
not quite 30 yet, but you're getting close.
all right, all right. Well, I didn't want to date you there, but I think it's important. I mean, especially in retirement and going into retirement, to get these tax strategies correct. And also, a lot of people out there probably have the question about Social Security and, when do I take Social Security, and then how is income that I currently have or income that I'm going to have in retirement going to affect my Social Security benefits? And so, you got to be very careful there, folks, because there's certain income thresholds that if you go over them, you're going to tax your Social Security greatly. And so, Randy, one of the things that probably would be beneficial to our listeners, and I think, is let's talk about this provisional income formula and how the IRS determines tax on your Social Security.
Sure, and great question, because we see this happening to retirees, whether especially if they have a jump in income, they take money out of an IRA, take money out of an annuity, have a stock sale, whatever, a kind of a one-time event. All of a sudden, not only does it cost them tax on the income that they're making or pulling out of an investment, but they also wind up now paying tax on part of their Social Security, all the way up to 85% of their Social Security, depending. And the tax rate is based on your tax bracket. So as an example, if you were to have your income dialed in so your Social Security isn't taxed or taxed minimally, but then all of a sudden you want to take money out of your IRA, like an extra $10,000 distribution to put down on a brand new car, or to make a home repair or something along those lines, you have to pay tax on the $10,000 that you pull out of that investment. Especially if it's an IRA, you pay tax on all of that. And then you also, now your provisional income bumped up by $10,000. That means your Social Security is now going to be subject to income tax as well, a portion of it, again, up to 85% of it at whatever tax bracket you're in. So, it's almost like it's hitting you twice. You're paying tax on the income that you pulled out, and now you're having to pay tax on some or more of your Social Security. So it's very important that retirees that are on Social Security understand this concept. And as Erick mentioned, I've been doing this almost 30 years, and these limits, when I say limits, that is the thresholds that you begin to trigger your Social Security being taxed. I've been doing this 30 years, and those limits have not been indexed up for inflation at all. So if you're married filing joint, it's your income plus half your Social Security benefits. If that number goes over $32,000, the IRS begins to tax your Social Security. And then when you get to $44,000, they tax up to 85. Once you go over the $44,000 mark, they can begin to tax up to 85% of your Social Security. Here again, at whatever tax bracket you're in. So, and then if you're single, it's 25,000 is where it starts, and then 34 is where it goes over where they begin to tax up to 85%. So it's unfortunate that Congress hasn't indexed these numbers up every year. And they've indexed everything. They index the amount they give you for Social Security every year, but they should also index up these thresholds as well, because if inflation is happening, and it is, they should be indexing this as well. So this is in particular we call it a silent killer of the taxes. And this in particular, this provisional income formula, because of lack of indexing, is definitely impacting more and more seniors and taking more and more of those retirement income dollars away from you. So here again, as you begin to plan for retirement, if you're in retirement, it's good to be aware of this. And it's also good, as Erick and I have talked about, it's good to have several buckets of income to pull from, whether it be taxable income, non-tax income, like we talked a lot about Roth IRAs. So as we plan with you at the end of the year, if you want to take some money out, or we're doing some tax planning, the earlier in life you plan, so you in terms of having some taxable income, some non-taxable income, and maybe some income that has a blend of taxable and non-taxable. Like if you're selling some investments like stocks or bonds, you get your capital back. It's not taxable. just the gain is taxable. So giving us more options to pull money from to manage your tax liability helps us also keep you out of this provisional income area where your Social Security is taxable. So again, as we talked on this show many times before, planning early in life, it will hopefully allow you to have more money in retirement and give you more options to plan with. So that's my comment on the provisional income formula. Please be aware that it's there, and please be aware that it's the thresholds aren't that high. So if you're married filing joint, $32,000 is not a big number. So it's very important to be aware of it and to try to avoid it if you can.